Episode 43, Inspired Chats here with O.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? How you been?
Not much, man. Just doing my thing.
Yeah, we could jump right into it with the Afghanistan withdrawal.
Okay.
It's been all over the news. A lot of people have been saying that the way, I guess, it was done was kind of, I guess, sloppy.
Okay.
Or not done properly. And we just want to share our views on that. Pretty much over time, Taliban was slowly taking over villages and towns
Right.
that America didn't really care about.
Right.
And pretty much they got their country back. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you look at how it's been. Like, this is we were in this war for like 20 years, right?
Yeah, about 20 years.
So, and it was kind of interesting because prior to that, like I think around 2 years ago, we kept hearing that the Taliban were slowly taking little swaths of,
Yep.
place. But it wasn't like a big. It was like page 30 something on the newspaper.
Yep.
So a lot of us didn't pay attention to it, but apparently that kind of like grew exponentially, like especially the last 2 years.
Yeah, they pretty much
Started taking larger areas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and all of a sudden, we're in a position whereby we have to make a choice.
Yeah.
Do we increase because if we were going to be there, we had to increase the troops because we were also drawing down during that whole process.
Yeah.
We were drawing down troops as well.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, well, I guess the commanders and the politicians and generals and everybody, they decided that, look, it's time to shut down this operation.
Yeah, the Taliban made a deal with Trump.
Yeah.
To withdraw.
Well, yeah, they did.
And the deal was that after we get out, that the Taliban would not attack U.S. Or U.S. allies, but that they can regain control of their country because it is their country.
Yeah.
And I think as far as America is concerned, we're not really into the whole regime change thing. As far as the people, our people, we're not
the
for
citizens
that anymore. Yeah. And so this isn't necessarily a Biden policy.
No, it's not.
Because every president want to be the one to bring the troops on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I think when Trump got in office, it was 16,000 over there, and then he cut it in half,
pretty much over 60%.
Yeah. And so on our way out, it was a airport attack in Kabul that killed 10 Marines.
Oh man! Including a guy from right here in Ohio.
Yeah, and the 10 Marines was amongst 13 service members and over 60 Afghans. So it's pretty much it's been going crazy over there, and my heart goes out to the people.
Yes.
Like the translators.
Yes.
The intelligence gatherers, the people that worked on bases, like the moderates, women's right leaders, people who was teaching women to read or drive or whatever. Those people, because in that sense, we kind of left them behind in a way.
Look. My take on that is, I think, regardless, look, we were in a messy situation, and I think, in a way, the politicians, the last the last three presidents, including Biden, because he was there, they mismanaged a lot.
Definitely.
And I think one thing was true, that if we were going to withdraw it, it didn't matter if it was 5 years ago or 5 years from now. There was going to be, some kind of chaos where you had all this problem. What we saw on TV, and it's sad, but war is really war is a really messy situation.
It is, and I know that I was on Twitter and I saw a thread where a service member was on there pretty much sharing her views on a lot of this on the withdrawal.
Okay.
And she mapped it out as saying if you are being pro leave Afghanistan
Okay.
is pro-Taliban.
Wait, pro leave Afghanistan.
Yeah, like
is-
pro. Okay, so pro. If you're pro-U.S. withdrawal,
Yeah.
if you want us out of there, want
Yeah.
all of our soldiers off the ground,
Uh-huh.
then you're pro-Taliban.
No, I disagree with that.
Yeah, and I'm just saying a lot of people like when you look at it that way.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to leave, well, not if you wanted to leave,
Yeah.
but if you agree with just in the middle of the night taking everybody,
Yeah.
that is a move that only benefits the Taliban.
Yes. Yes, it's true.
We take a lot of hits for that.
Yeah.
Because nobody. That's another thing that America has done where we erode our trust that people could have in us, and it's just like because we talked about this where it was like if you are that 20-year-old kid that only know the United States running your country or helping police your country, if you only know that, or if you're that person who felt like there was no place for you in the country before,
okay,
but then the U.S. came and it's kind of you can now participate in society or do what have you. We left. We left those people.
Yeah.
Like now the citizens, us, like the U.S. citizens, we, for the most part, got out. There's still a lot of scandals going on as far as at least stuff in the news talking about some people that got left behind, telling some people to go to embassies so they can get them out and all this type of stuff. It's gonna be those type of stories. But for the people who live there and only know Afghanistan, that trusted the U.S., that leaned on the U.S.
The last 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, for the last 20 years, my heart goes out to them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, this situation is really, really, it's a tough one. And even though there were huge mistakes made, I still think regardless of whatever happened, we were still going to have chaos on our way out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you look at, but at least we were able to evacuate over 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And that includes a lot of the translators, a lot of the people who worked for us, who helped us while we were there, families and their families. Now, keep in mind, we're not just evacuating one person; we're evacuating the families, the extended. I mean, we don't even and that's another thing. I think we gotta after this. We still have to do some research and make sure that the people who are coming in are well vetted, because that's I mean that might be another issue brewing in terms of making sure the people who we evacuated and who are coming in are well vetted.
Right.
And that's the second issue. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean war. There's no other way to put it other than war is a messy situation.
Yeah.
Even at the very end, we still had attacks. Look at losing 13 guys.
Yeah.
That was mad.
And a lot of people are blaming Joe Biden.
Okay.
A lot of people are saying he looks weak. Okay. And we can just segue into our next topic. The Joe Biden administration.
Okay.
How long are we into the Joe Biden administration? What are we, 9 months?
9 months?
He took office January 20th.
So
it'll be 9 months.
Yeah.
So what's our opinions thus far of the Joe Biden administration? Mind you, this is after the Trump administration. Right. It's a major contrast. Nobody can disprove that. Everybody can agree that it's a major difference between Trump and Biden. A lot of people can disagree for better or for worse. Yeah. But just the tone coming out the White House is, I think, a major difference.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, as I think I'll analyze it as an American here and say, as a citizen, that he's not doing as bad as what I told you. Yeah, he's not. He's not doing as bad. I mean, could he be doing better? You could make that argument that any president could be doing.
Of course.
So,
I mean, I guess it depends on what are you rating them on?
Exactly.
Because it depends on what issues are important. Like if you're a person who,
I mean, if you're someone who's like, man, I guess if immigration is your thing,
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
happy right now with Joe Biden.
No, of course not.
You're not happy, and I do think he needs to do more when it comes to the border. I really do. I do.
The left have moved too far.
Yeah, you know, on that,
because open borders used to be like some caricature of the party. It used to be something that was not realistic at all.
Right.
But
so
some people now on the left are like no board, like
they
open
want it.
border.
Like I'm like okay, you know, we can only, you know, that's the thing. You see, it depends on your issue. But overall, I think he's fine. I just think like things like the borders, we have to really, really vet that situation. Make sure, you know, we secure the border. Yes, I mean it's like we need border control. We can, and it's important for national security. The reason why I say this is this, and it takes us back to Afghanistan. Look at what happened. That should be like a wake up call for everybody. Like.
Mm-hmm.
The enemy has to be right one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can make all this, you know, preventative measures. We can take and then one lapse.
That's it.
And then boom, that's what we get. So,
how do you feel about Biden's pandemic relief bill?
Pandemic relief, I think, is great. I think we need it.
1.9 trillion to the debt.
Yeah, it's 1.9 trillion, but look, it's tough, but but what else what are the question is, what are the alternatives?
No, we needed the pandemic bill. That a COVID relief bill, especially while the country has COVID.
Right.
You have to do that.
We have to.
You got to make sure we got supplies. You got to make sure certain measures are in place.
Yes.
You got to give schools and businesses the resources to stay open. You need that.
Yeah.
Now you got to give businesses some more money to make sure they can accommodate or stay open during a pandemic. Mm-hmm. So I get that. I get the COVID relief bill. $1.9 trillion is a lot of money.
Man, it's a lot.
but this new infrastructure bill.
Okay.
Right now, as it stands now, it's $3.5 trillion.
Oh my God, man!
It just got to pass the House, and for the infrastructure, it's $65 billion for high-speed internet access. Yeah. It's for like a lot of the middle of the country. Pretty much, you plug in a lot of people into the world. Yeah. Like a lot of people, depending on where you live, are just cut off from the internet. So they want to do that. Mm-hmm. $110 billion for roads and bridges.
Okay.
$25 billion for airports, and
airport renovation and upgrades and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And then pretty much the rest for revamping infrastructure and transportation programs. Okay. So it don't sound bad.
It don't sound bad, but the price tag.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The price tag is what sounds bad, man. 3.9, man.
We're talking about almost $6 trillion.
Yeah.
With 2 bills. 2 bills.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
And that's the criticism of the Democrats too, where it's like they call the Republicans the daddy party and the Democrats the mommy party, where the Republicans in power usually are like a little more strong, a little more pull yourself up by the bootstraps and all that, and the Democrats is more of the I'll take care of you.
I'll take care
kind of thing. And for me, for Joe Biden, we need this. I'm not criticizing his policies, but the way that it's rolled out it's like he's playing to the what's the word?
To his base.
He's playing to his base, and that's good. He's supposed to do that. Elections have consequences,
right?
But he's playing to the the stereotypes of the Democrats,
right?
And I don't like that because it's like you're making Democrats look bad. Okay. Because he got this image of being soft and being whatever, just like with the Afghanistan withdrawal. Like they're painting this picture of him as soft, and they're gonna do this for the next few years to make sure they can kill him in the election next year. Like so, I mean I don't know.
Well, I think I wish there was a way. I think to be fair to him, I wish there was a way we could solve all this problem without that amount of money.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I don't see any other way of. I mean,
Yeah.
what is the alternative? Again, that's the
Yeah.
question we ask. What is the alternative?
I mean,
Do we just
yeah.
let people, fend for themselves
No.
and then let the economy? I mean, people. Yes, we might. The economy might recover, but it's gonna take us even 20 years, and then there's gonna be a lot of people left behind. A lot.
I mean, I agree.
So
we definitely
that's what we're looking at. But the debt, I mean, the price tag is really it's astronomical.
It costs. I mean, I think the price tag just show what where America was.
Yes, and where we
how much neglect I'm saying we've been dealing with as far as say raw infrastructure, just the roads and bridges.
Yeah, even right here in Ohio.
Yeah, like we're in Akron, Ohio, and it's like. Yeah, we can put some more money towards infrastructure, towards our bridges, our buildings, our roads, the expressways. Like, it's a lot of stuff that, definitely. And our airports, our hospitals. Yeah, you compare you compare America's, like something, say the best American airport.
Okay.
To say an airport in Dubai.
Oh, no.
Or something. Like, I'm just saying, I know that's a high mark, but, or even China. Yeah. Like, these countries, you got to put some money back into the business. Think about it like that. Like, you just can't keep taking it off of profits and bonuses and everything. At some point, you have to put some of the money back into the business, and America is the business. Yeah. Like, like you making all this money or have the capability to spend all this money. Some of it should be on a road that I could drive on, a bridge I could cross, or an airport I could travel from.
Yeah, that is, upgraded and, it's a state of the art, something that is upgraded at least to 2021.
Yeah. I mean, come on now. What are we doing? Like, that's why I'm not mad about the 3.5 trillion. Like, I wish we didn't have to go that high, but that just shows that, like, something like this has never happened.
Yes.
Now, if we put infrastructure into the national debt every year, like to in the budget, every year, then it wouldn't have to be 3.5 trillion. If we would have put, say, $1 billion a year, just like anything else, they put, maybe not $1 billion, but I don't know. If you name a number, maybe say 200 million towards infrastructure every year in the budget, it wouldn't get to this massive problem to where you got, we got cities where the pipes need done. It's a lot. It's a lot of problems.
Yeah, a lot.
And not to mention the coastal cities.
Look at old states like Pennsylvania. Yeah. They have bridges that are like 70-something years old.
Yep. Shame.
Man,
we could do better.
I agree.
And just a little side note about Joe Biden. He signed more executive orders than his last 3 predecessors at this point in his presidency.
Well,
and a lot of it is undoing a lot of Trump's policies.
So that's, to me, that's just the way it is. He had to do those things. I think it's a different time,
especially now. Yeah.
Exactly. With the kind of divisiveness we have, he needs to use those executives. And watch, when the Republican comes in, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to start,
That's kind of just how it is now. Yeah. So vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines.
COVID vaccines. First of all, did you have your vaccine, Chris?
I am not vaccinated yet.
Okay.
But I have an appointment.
Okay.
And I'm going to get the shot soon, just like I tell everybody. We can't be messing around, especially if you have pre-existing conditions, or just not in the best shape, or any type of comorbidity, or where you're around people who do. Okay. It just makes sense. But I completely understand the fear. People got real fear of this vaccine. Like a lot of people don't want to take the shot. But right now, according to the CDC, 169 million Americans, that's 51% of the total population, have been fully vaccinated. That's comparable to, and these are our top 3 other countries that view the podcast, so I wanted to shout them out. Yeah. Canada is 74% vaccinated. Yeah. The United Kingdom is 69% vaccinated, and Bangladesh is approximately 70% vaccinated. The U.S. is lagging. A lot of people don't trust the government. A lot of people just don't want to hear it. What is it? What do we think caused the distrust or the breakdown in trust of the government?
Well, first of all, from what I've seen, we were here, like you said, March of 2020, and saw the whole stuff unfold.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like number one, at the core of it is misinformation, and then they have a certain. I think that is an overwhelming majority of the reason why people are not vaccinated. And then obviously you have those who are not vaccinated for medical reasons,
right,
and for religious reasons, cultural reasons, you know. But
you lost me there.
yeah, yeah,
you lost me there.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. I understand why somebody is not trusting the government, especially, or trusting the vaccine yet. It's not FDA approved yet. Okay. Most of them aren't. And it's like, I get it. But when you we ain't gonna make this about religion, but if you're not getting the vaccine for religious reasons, that's not good enough for me.
I know.
I mean, cause you can use that for everything.
Yes.
Like literally everything. I don't do this for religion. I mean, I get it. We're in a free country. People can do what they want. But at what point do you think the United States could ever get to the point where we can have forced vaccinations? If, like, say we stay at 51% and we just plateau and nobody else gets the vaccine.
Man, I don't see that.
What is the plan for the government?
I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be forced in a certain way whereby I think this is how it's going to play out, in my opinion. I think if we get to a stage whereby the economy is really, really picking up, because I think if it's going to be, in a way, forced, it has to come through the economy. Yeah. So if we are in a situation whereby a lot of employers have, because right now a lot of employers are kind of like, still getting themselves together and putting things together. Mm-hmm. If we get to a point where they're stable and they don't really need workers as much, mm-hmm. I think you're going to see strict mandates. Yeah. Whereby they're going to force people. Every sector is going to be like, okay, for you to come to the hospital, you have to be vaccinated. Right. So if we get to that level, right now everyone is still, in a way struggling, Mm-hmm. If we get to that level, that's the kind of forced situation you're going to see. That makes sense. So it's really going to have a lot of pressure. Like maybe it might get to a point whereby, I mean, I'm not saying this is pop, but what worst case scenario, you might get to a point whereby if you're say SSI recipient, it might say, well, we're not going to pay you this amount, or we're going to take out this percentage out of your check. Yeah. Until you're vaccinated. Something that who's doing that? Someone did that. Someone just did that. Is it Uber? Oh, someone's taking or Walmart. I think one of them. Oh. Is actually taking away. I think it was also one of the airlines, Delta Airlines as well. I think I did hear about that. Yeah, I think one of the airlines is actually charging their employees extra, and it's not just $50. It's a lot. They're charging them whereby they're gonna be like, man, I'm losing this money just now, So that is a kind of forced situation we're gonna see. I don't want to force vaccinations on people, mm-hmm. and I don't want to feed the trolls either. That were the conspiracy of all this type of stuff, because I honestly do understand both sides. Like I get it. So I don't want to turn this into like a PSA or nothing like that. But at the same time, that a way they could do it is through our kids. Okay. School, all school. Say kids to college. You can't attend this school or this university unless you've been vaccinated. Yeah. You can't work at these places. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Unless you're vaccinated. Of course they go do the federal employees first. Obviously, yeah. That's gonna be first, and then they go see how they gonna respond to that. Yeah. But like you said, right now they're at a point right now where they need us. Yeah. Like they need us to take the shot. They need us to show up to work. They need us to keep the economy going. So when somebody needs you, they treat you real nice, real sweet. That's just real, real gentle, and real whatever. But once that flips, and like you said, we have more workers than positions, mm-hmm. and then it's competitive again. Now you need
Now you need to show your card to
Yeah.
travel, to go to this restaurant, to go to this grocery store. And that is a way that the government can do it. I mean, I think they want to do everything they can to not have it go to that level.
That route, yeah.
But we will see. Yep. We will see. It's new news coming out of Texas.
Okay.
About the heartbeat bill got passed by the Texas Supreme Court, and that's the abortion bill where it bans pretty much abortion for as early as 6 weeks.
Right?
Yeah, 6 weeks into the pregnancy. And there is no carve-out in the bill, to my understanding, for incest, rape, or anything like that. So, let me see.
And I think they even take it a step further. And now, pretty much, it's so. I mean, it's more restricted than anything we've seen so far, because
it is.
You can basically, if I drive someone to a clinic, I could get sued.
Yeah.
By a citizen.
Yeah.
You know, so I could be liable. You know, I can be in trouble for actually driving someone to a clinic. That's how, restrictive and severe it is.
I think the politics of it needs to stop putting people in such extreme boxes. Because, like I said, we touched on this issue before. Pro-life, pro-choice. Right. Nobody's pro-death. Okay? I feel like everybody in this situation is pro-personal choice, pro-government choice. Okay. I think, number one, the branding of it all is just crazy. Because, I mean, the branding of it, pro-life, pro-choice, I never really bought into that. And this is a very nuanced issue.
It is.
I don't believe, I don't agree with abortions. I would not have one, or I would not instruct someone I got pregnant to have one, or any family member to have one. I would not want to be a part of one, but that's my right, that's my choice. But my personal beliefs, whether that's from religion or philosophy or just personal experience through life, I don't think that opinion, I'm allowed to dictate that to everybody else. That's more important about whether I believe if abortion should be allowed or not. I don't think any one person or any group of people or any religion or any party or whatever should have the right on that issue to tell people what the law is on that, especially if it's coming from a religious reason. So it's like I don't know. What do you?
No, it's a very and it's a better stance. I agree with you. I mean, it doesn't matter what I think of it, regardless of what I feel about the situation. I shouldn't really be in a position to impose that in a certain way. I mean, on someone else, regardless of how I feel in the situation. Yeah. And I think that's where we get into the controversies and all that. It shouldn't even be controversial. I mean, I like certain food. Yeah. But I'm not gonna come in and say, well, that's what I expect everybody to. Right. So a lot of this, I'm not saying that I'm not comparing. Right. That to, but it's a really complicated issue. I agree, it's complicated, and it's not just left to the pro-choice believe this and the pro-life believe this, because I bet you're gonna see pro-lifers, and now, especially in 2021, you're gonna see people who actually don't support it. They don't believe in it. They're pro-lifers, but they're not willing to impose it on someone else. Right. You understand? Like, they're pro-lifers, and that is, like I said, that is why we have to really, really change the trajectory of this issue, because it's been so polarized. It's so polarized. Yeah. It's so polarizing that it made both sides extreme. Extreme, exactly. And you can understand both sides. Like, if you grew up with a certain faith or a certain set of beliefs that believes that any type of, say, contraception is murdering a person, if that's how you feel, and then somebody, says that abortion should be the law of the land, you should be allowed to abort, like, what's the problem? Like, that is an attack on your ethics, on your morals. Right. And that's why it's so polarizing, because both sides, that side feels like they're defending the babies. Yeah. They're pro-life, like these unborn babies. So it's like, and then the other side, the far, far side of that,
would be people that think it's okay to have an abortion up to 6-7 months in the presidency, late term abortion, and it's like no, like
and have multiples, like we have that crowd. Oh my god!
I think it should be rare and it should be safe.
Yes,
it should be to where I just know in some scenarios, like it's times that couples like find out they're pregnant. This is what I think about when I think about the abortion issue. I think about a couple that find out they're pregnant.
Okay.
They go to the doctor, do all the checkups. They start putting together a crib, start painting the baby's room, and then they go to their next checkup and they realize, like, they get the most devastating news of their life. Of that. Not only that this baby's life could be at risk, but the mom's life could also be in danger. Or what type of quality of life could the baby have if you brought the baby to term? If the baby has some big underlying health issue. Mm-hmm. And in that decision is a hard decision to make in that moment for that couple. Yes. But it is the couple's decision.
And it is not regardless of how I feel. Yeah. It is not it's not at that time. No. Because that's the same time you look at it at that point, it's the same way I look at it. At that point in time, it is not my decision. Mm-hmm. My decision is not important, regardless of how I feel.
That's what I'm saying. That
couple's decision at that time.
That's their decision to make. That's something they have to live with. Right. And that's just what it is. But I think it speaks to a bigger issue for the people who are outraged and just pissed about this abortion being banned in Texas. Elections have consequences. Yeah. This was when people that could not find themselves to vote, say in the 2016 election for whatever reason, say, "Oh, it don't matter who wins, it doesn't matter."
Look at where we are.
Trump won. Yeah, he surrounded himself with pro-life extremists, like the vice president, the attorney general, and not the whole cabinet, but a few other people in the cabinet that were, feeding, that were hardcore pro-lifers. Yes. And they had an agenda, and the agenda was, we're going to put in pro-life judges? Pro-life justices. Mm-hmm. We're going to take state houses, governors' mansions. Exactly. And the issue for the base was pro-life, especially for them to win the election. They had to get the evangelical vote. Yeah. So that was the one issue. That's like the evangelical one issue now. Like, for if you're a religious person, like, they tap into that and they exploit that until you vote for them. And it's like that. These are the consequences. Like, I think banning abortion, just like gay marriage would be next. It's like, this is the red meat that was promised to the evangelicals to vote Republican. This is why, like, not all, but it's a collection of people that this is why they vote the ways they vote. They'll listen to the whole campaign, and then they'll hear one question. How do you feel about pro-life? How do you feel about gay marriage? How do you feel about the wall? How do you feel about whatever? A lot of people are one-issue people. One issue, and this one issue is a major one.
Major one.
It's a major issue.
At 90% of how they vote.
This 95. To where they can agree with you in every other sense. But if you are not, if you are for the other side when it comes to abortion, you won't get their vote. This is such a polarizing issue, and I don't see a meeting in the middle.
Oh, man, it's going to be so hard.
Because they push everybody. So everybody is so on the edge. That the middle ground people is like, hey, I don't agree with abortion, but I don't believe in imposing my right on anybody else. Like, those people, there's not a lot of those people.
No, there's not a lot. They don't vote. It's either, and I still have to do a research to find out where they are. Those people, do they vote? And who do they vote for?
That's a good question, because if you're that moderate on this very polarizing issue,
how do you vote?
That's a good question.
We need to do some more research on that and find out how they do vote when it comes to elections.
I think I could vote both ways when it comes to pro-life and pro-choice, depending on the candidate. It depends on the candidate. Like, okay, it's weird, and I never said this out loud, but because I never thought about it like this. As far as the two extremes is concerned, I would rather vote for a candidate that bans abortion than one that lifts every restriction on abortion. You see what I'm saying? Am I making sense? Like, say if there was a candidate that said no abortion, period, and then there was a candidate that said you could abort up to 8 months if you want to. I don't care. Like, it's not gonna be the law. We're gonna stripe it. I would rather have the one that is the extreme banner.
Okay.
In a way.
Okay.
In a way, both of them are terrible choices. Terrible choices. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a hard one, but we gotta find some way to.
We have to do better. We have to do better. How we, a lot of these issues are no longer. You know, I know right now it's so difficult because we're so polarized as a country. A lot of this issue needs some type of evolution to come through.
We have to.
Yeah, so we can just move forward on it, on these things, because at the end of the day, while we're out there doing this, again, I remind people, that's why we have things like, other stuff come up. We have, China trying to take over places because they feel like, oh, the United States is distracted with internal politics.
Yeah.
It doesn't, trust me, our adversaries, they see these things.
Yeah.
They know these things. They're not,
Yeah. That's what Russia always
I think we I don't know if we've learned that lesson yet.
Yeah.
But trust me, our adversaries are paying attention more than we think they are.
And you take countries like
and
China.
they're paying attention not in a good way. Let me just let you know, not in a good way.
Like China and Russia, they're here for the long game. Especially China.
Yeah,
They're here for the long game. And China and Russia both know. They know how our country operates.
Yes.
They know our short attention spans. They know these hot button issues that keep us, like you said, keep our minds preoccupied to where we don't see the long game happening. And it's just like, I don't know, if you get too deep in this stuff, you get really discouraged.
Right.
But cause when you think we're in bad shape.
Yeah, so we just have to, trust me, we can disagree on stuff. There's no one is saying everyone should agree, but we have to keep in mind that we have to play this game on a long game basis.
We have to.
Not on a short term.
Especially when it comes to these conspiracies, social media separating us, polarizing us, because that's what Russia did in the 2016 election. They had a factory, hollowed it out, put some people there with some computers, and they was making Facebook groups, causing arguments with Black Lives Matter and this, that, sending all type of doctored videos, fake news, and putting it out into the community, to where most people, I think they said 65% of people get their news from Facebook.
Can you imagine?
So it's like, so when you if Russia or anybody was to put a fake story out intentionally to sway a group of people or to get a group of people arguing about something instead of coming together, I don't feel like we do enough as a country to combat that.
We don't. We don't.
Like, you look at YouTube comments or Twitter threads.
Man,
it's toxic.
It is, man.
It's toxic, and that's where they want us.
Yeah.
And I think for a while our government wanted us there, and so now other countries are doing it to us, and it's like we're getting crazier.
Yeah.
We getting crazier, and that's I don't know. We ain't gonna solve the answer here, but we can at least scratch the surface.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the process of achieving goals.
Okay.
That's a good topic. You have a goal, you set it, you have a vision, a dream, whatever. I think the first step is to make sure that this is something that you really want deep down, something you're in love with, something you're ready to sacrifice for, and you got to do those steps, I think, before you even make the first step, because I don't think you want to find out halfway there that you don't have what it takes or you don't have the power to do it.
Yeah.
Also, follow through. Hard work. Anything that's worth anything will not come easy.
At all.
What you got to say?
I agree. I mean, those are the founding, the building blocks for success. You need to have a plan. You need to ask yourself, okay, this stuff that I'm passionate for, am I willing to make the sacrifices that are needed to achieve this?
Right.
And you have to ask yourself, this is the question you have to, am I willing to go alone in case if there's no one there to support me?
Right.
Am I that passionate enough to be a loner
Mm-hmm.
On that path.
Mm-hmm.
Like in case if I don't have people around me like pushing me along, because it might happen. It does happen to a lot of people. So those nights spent alone writing that music or shooting that shot in the court, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or reading or doing that extra research or whatever it is you're doing, you know, those kind of stuff, you have to ask yourself those questions. That can I actually do this alone?
Yeah.
When it gets really tough, when I know, oh, when I make this phone call, no one's going to be on the other side to help me with that situation. And that is the thing you have to plan. Those are the strategies you have to have. And then you now take that and you match that with your state, with your current state,
Mm-hmm.
and say, okay, how long is it going to be? How long do I have to achieve this goal?
Yeah.
You know, how long do I have? What do I know about people who try to achieve something similar? Because
Mm-hmm.
believe me or not, everyone there's similarities, and life is like I don't know how to put it, but life repeats itself in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So it might not be the exact way, but it repeats itself in some form.
Definitely.
So whatever it is you're trying to achieve, there's someone who has done something similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have
It's
7
something to learn
billion
from
people now that tells us that at least there's a similar story somewhere.
Yep.
So it's finding out that, you know, story that's closest to you and finding out how they did, how they failed, and knowing that even when you fail,
Mm-hmm.
it's still part of the learning process. You know, you have to go into it understanding that, look, even if this stuff doesn't work out, because I'm in it for the long run, I'm playing the long game.
Mm-hmm.
I can wait this out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
absorb all this hits, and then keep pushing. You know,
Definitely.
so those are, I agree. Those are the things you have to really, you know, examine. Have a strategy is very important.
Definitely, I would say know your strengths too.
Know your strengths.
Know your strengths and your weaknesses. Know what you're good at. If not, try it. Go for it. We'll leave on that inspirational note.
Yep.
Go for it. Achieving your goals. Trust the process. Follow through. Hard work.
Yep.
Learn from others. Educate yourself.
All time.
Yes.
That important.
That is our show. Episode 43. And we are celebrating our 1 year.
All right.
1 year, yeah. It's been thank you. It's been a year. So this is one of the episodes that we've been doing. We got a couple more coming for y'all.
Right.
1 year. Help us keep celebrating it. Like, share, subscribe to YouTube. Also on TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of that. Thank you for watching.